You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly pop and geek culture show covering movies, TV, games, and comics. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that is emotionally prepared to give you a great time with news and what we've been checking out lately. I'm Cody. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm Sam, and I'm totally centered and prepared to give you a good show this week.
I'm Josh, and I am one with all the news.
I'm Samantha, and I'm unhinged.
We need at least one.
Yeah,
One of us.
you need one.
Yeah.
You're in your feral era, or your feral arc.
It's Raccoon Samantha,
Yeah, there we go.
agent of chaos.
All right. Thank you all for tuning into the show this week. We have a bunch of things to talk about. A lot of DC Cinematic Universe stuff. We're also going to talk about some games that are getting canceled.
And maybe your favorite show is coming back.
It's getting uncanceled.
Yeah,
but which one?
Which one?
Yeah, you have to find out. But first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
Come on, Cranky, take it to the fridge.
We're going to take this segment to the fridge.
Speaking of apes,
Yes.
Is that a Zen Bigfoot?
That is a Zen Bigfoot. My folks just got back from Seattle, and apparently Bigfoot is everywhere out there. So there you go.
So he's like,
That's so cool.
He's the upper northwest of like the Mothman.
Yeah, he's the
that's-
Bigfoot Buddha.
That's
you know.
Bigfoot country up there.
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
I thought Colorado was Bigfoot country.
No,
It's all that up that way.
It's northwest, Pacific Northwest. Is
All right.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's
Hotspot.
I guess
pretty-
Gravity Falls makes more sense now.
Yep. But yeah, so yeah, they just got back. I talked to them this morning. They they had a bunch of pictures of Bigfoot. Big feet, I suppose, would be the correct way. Bigfoots or big feet?
Big's foot?
Big's foots?
It's like attorneys general.
Yeah. So yeah, some things we've been doing. I finally got a chance to watch Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Hey, nice.
That is a banger of a movie.
It's a heck of a movie. That is really, really good. Have we all seen it here?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Almost all of
Almost
us
all of
have.
us.
I
Yeah,
haven't
'cause
watched Knives Out either.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to?
You don't have to. You get a little more out of it if you see it, Knives Out, but you don't have to. They set up Benoit Blanc.
All you have to know is
Expertly.
he's good at solving mysteries.
Yes, except for when they're trivial games.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's terrible at Among Us, and he's terrible at Clue.
Hates Clue.
Hates Clue. Moving around a board, checking off boxes.
Yeah, going into rooms. Yeah, and checking off boxes.
Yeah, that's
which is what that character ends up doing.
That's what he ends up doing.
I mean,
yeah.
that's
Well, not
probably,
him, but
I mean, that's probably the joke.
Yeah. The movie's great. It is a very not so very veiled stab at Elon Musk.
technically that is a coincidence that it mirrors the whole Twitter scenario. It was written before that even happened.
I see. Well, then they read the future a little bit
Yeah.
because I would have sworn that.
Well, all those tech bros are about the same
They
person
are.
anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
He's an amalgamation of like Elon
Of
Musk
just tech bros.
and Zuckerberg
but
and like
there was one point where he was wearing a black turtleneck, like
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. But basically, a rich entrepreneur has bought an island and invites 5 of his best friends who are all leaders in their own areas, like his top scientist at one of his companies and a future politician and Dave Bautista as a Twitch streamer.
kind of like a men's rights
Men's and
Oh,
MRA.
like an Andrew Tate.
yeah.
That's and
He's maybe not as gross.
yeah.
No, well,
Yeah. He's likable because he's Dave Bautista.
Yes. It's one of Dave Bautista's best acting roles, I
Yeah.
think.
I don't know. That Dave Bautista's got that other movie, A Knock at the Cabin Door, coming out.
That
M.
actually
Night
sounds
movie.
really good. It's based on a book.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
I'll have to let you know about that after the thing. But they are all invited to this island to play a murder mystery game. And for some reason, Benoit Blanc, detective extraordinaire, was also invited. But no one knows why he's there. But maybe there is a reason. And I'm not going to spoil anything else because it is twists and turns from beginning to end.
Yeah, it does about an about face about
It
a
does.
fourth of the way in. That's very well done.
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite scenes is they're all sitting at dinner, and the Elon Musk character played by Edward Norton, he
Ooh, that sounds great.
fantastic. And he's setting up the whole thing for so we're going to find out who murdered me. And Benoit Blanc immediately just gets it. Just like that. He walks in 2 seconds. And the Musk character, Norton, he is just so frazzled because he spent so much money and so much time coming up with this elaborate scenario that Benoit answers in 2 seconds. It's really impressive. And then the story kind of progresses from there. There's a bigger mystery along with that. And amazing film. I can't wait for the third one. There are a lot of mini little cameos here and there sprinkled in. He is playing, at one point he's depressed because Benoit Blanc at the beginning of the movie is kind of depressed because between solving mysteries, he gets real bummed out because everything is just too easy for him.
Oh, and it's COVID time.
So he can't go out and do anything.
He can't go solve mysteries because he's stuck at home.
So he's sitting in his bathtub playing Among Us with Angela Lansbury. Oh gosh, who were the four?
Natasha Lyonne.
Natasha Lyonne.
Steven Sondheim?
Steven Sondheim,
Yeah.
and I forget who the fourth one was, but they've played crime solvers in movies and stuff before.
Yeah. That's the joke, yeah.
And Benoit Blanc can't figure out
who the imposter is.
No, he's the imposter.
Oh.
And they solve it immediately because he doesn't know how to play the game because he's bad at games. He's great at solving mysteries, terrible at games. And that is a great characterization.
I mean, I'm a terrible imposter. Anyway.
I want to watch. Speaking of Natasha Lyonne, I want to watch that show that she and Ryan Johnson just did. That's on Peacock.
Yeah,
that Poker Face.
Face
looks so good, but I don't have Peacock.
Yeah,
and I don't want to pay for Peacock.
Well, there is a way you can do that. Sail the open seas.
Yeah, but then I gotta Then I gotta buy a VPN because I can't get in trouble for that again.
Well, that sounds like you problem.
he's on a watch list.
So yeah, that's the main thing I did. The other thing I've done is I have started streaming on Twitch.
Yeah,
I saw this. I heard about this.
Yeah. So So I've been wanting for a while to stream on Twitch. Just kind of. Once nothing crazy, once a week.
Dip your toe in.
Dip my toe in just to see. We've done a little bit of that with this show. Every now and then we'll stream it on our Twitch. But I started up my own channel, and I was having a heck of a time coming up with the name and talking over with Jor, and said that, pretty much going to be streaming late Monday nights because that's the only day I really have time to do that. And I don't want to, I don't want it to be a job. I want to just kind of flip the thing on and go. So decided that's what the name of the channel is going to be, is Late Monday Night. So I jumped in and I streamed for about 3 hours. I played Vampire Survivor, which, that's what I've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
And plus it's free.
Plus it's, the PC version was $5.
Okay. That's nothing.
It's cheap, it's free.
It might as well be free.
Yeah. $5 is like 5 cents in adult money.
Yeah. So for the first hour and a half, 45 minutes, I was just kind of playing by myself. There was one person that would pop up every once in a while, say hey, and then kind of move on. That's about what I was expecting. I didn't expect anything out of this. I'm not a name. I'm just a guy. I've never done this before, but all of a sudden, I had 90 people show up in my stream. Yes, apparently, another random streamer that I have never heard of or met decided at the end of their stream, said, "Hey, why don't you guys go head over to this one? It's his first time. Just go. Why not?" So 90 people jumped into my stream, and the weirdest thing is, normally when people do that, they kind of hop in and say hey, and then disappear. 50 people stayed watching for another hour and a half.
Wow.
And of those 50 people, at least 20 of them were active in my chat. And I was asking me questions, and I was just kind of responding to them, just like, oh, hey, I'm just having a chat. And like 12 or 13 of them subscribed to my channel and told me, whenever you seem like a cool dude, whenever you're streaming, we're going to be there.
Nice.
And that was the best feeling. Yeah, it was the coolest.
Aww,
it was the coolest feeling.
Sam got a serotonin boost.
I got a serious serotonin boost as I was logging out and everything. The chat was saying, "Oh yeah, see you later. Well, we'll see you next time. See you next Monday with this, that, and the other." And right before I logged out, one guy just said, "Such a good guy."
Aww.
And I was like, Ah, man, that's great.
Sometimes the internet isn't a garbage fire.
Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's okay. I'm still very rough at it. I'm very, very rough at it.
I mean,
But-
we've been doing this for like more than 8 years, and we're still kind of
Well, and that's not. No, I'd say we're good at this part.
Well, yeah.
But talking to myself.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely a skill you have to
Yeah.
practice and work on.
Yeah, it
Like,
absolutely is. Well, I started the stream by saying, this my stream, my channel is the epitome of the adage: if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to see it, did they stream on Twitch? So,
And
but
then
yeah,
it turned out people heard the tree.
it turns out a few people heard the tree and might be hearing from subsequent trees. So I don't know. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep trying. Nothing crazy. I don't even know if I'm going to set up like donations or anything like that for it because I don't care about that stuff.
That's like one of those like you'll come to that bridge when
I need to.
Yeah.
But I think the next thing I'm going to be working on is alerts, like coming up with something for that, like a little graphic or something. But still very rough at it. But usually Mondays at midnight, EST for I don't know, a couple hours, basically while I'm doing my laundry. And the best part is I'm using a little PNG, like little graphic for when I talk and stuff.
you're
And
a PNG tuber.
my PNG tuber. I'm a half step away from being one of those 3D anime girls on the internet that people seem to love.
I just had a dumb thought.
Okay.
Using one of those like waifu like anime girl things and just having my deeper voice.
I mean, it's been done.
It's been done.
I gotta
sure, it's
figure.
been done.
There's one that has like it's an anime girl that has like a brain slug, and the guy's voice comes out of the brain slug.
That's actually kind of clever.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I forget who it is, but it was a good concept.
That is a good concept.
Hey, you forgot your brain slugs. When Hermes is giving everybody the brain slugs.
Right. Yeah. All right. That's what I've been doing this week.
I'm happy for you, bud. That sounds
thank you.
That
Thank
sounds
you.
great.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I might actually do bonus streams when I'm editing this show Friday nights. I might flip it on because even if one person shows up, hey, whatever. I'm not.
Hey,
even if no one shows up,
see how the
whatever.
hot dogs are made.
Yeah.
I got a game you should play on your stream. It's called Mighty Mini Golf.
You know what? I might. I very well might.
Oh yeah, I dipped back into that to test out your new aiming system.
Here's the question: do you think you'll ever have controller support for your game?
Yes, that's something I can do.
Okay, because I think I would be. I like Mighty Mini Golf. I've downloaded it. I played it, and it's really good. The voice acting for when the balls go in the hole. That's top quality right there. I don't know.
Best part of the game.
Best part of the game, but. But the one thing I found a little difficult was I'm not used to WASD, and if it was like one stick to move your guy around and one stick to aim the ball once you're there.
It's not going to be that complicated, but you might be able to do it now.
Okay.
I think if you hit Control Y during the game, it should pop up a control dialog box.
Okay.
That lets
Control
you
Y.
do that.
All right. Next, I'll have to boot it up and check that out because I really like your game.
Thank you.
It's really really well done, and more people should play it. I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah, but more obvious controller support is something I've been meaning to put in.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How those other levels come in?
I've made 2.
Okay.
There's one with a crab that will try to kill you if you hit it with a golf ball.
Nice.
And there's one where you have to hit the golf ball across a busy street.
Yeah.
Frogger style.
Yeah.
I like it. You should make like a pack of levels that are like pastiches of. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do for your game, but pastiches of other classic arcade games. Like there's a Burger Time map and a Donkey Kong map.
I was actually thinking of doing that specifically for Torg.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have a booth at Torg this year, but it's not for like...
What's Torg stand for?
Oh, God, I forget what it stands
It's the
for.
gaming...
it's a Ohio like retro gaming convention.
The Ohio Retro...
Is that what it stands? The Ohio Retro Gaming
convention Torg, yeah.
I'm going to look it up. You keep talking.
But they gave out 10 free booths to indie game developers which is extremely cool of them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I signed up for that, and they said, yeah. So
Oh, wow,
I will
that's
be there
awesome.
for the Saturday of it.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's really, really cool.
Thanks. But I was thinking about putting together a even if it's just 9 holes course of classic game stuff to putt through.
Yeah, that would be really neat. Get a Ridge Racer level or
No, you should do like F-Zero or something.
Just the
putt
cars.
along Big Blue.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what are some things you guys have been doing this week?
Oh, I pulled out the Nintendo DS for some reason. I got just a wild hair about me that I wanted to play New Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Which I have played a lot of, but I've also dipped into a bunch of other weird DS games. I don't know where it came from.
Sometimes the mood just strikes, I guess.
I played a lot of Donkey Kong Jungle Climber.
Okay.
Which is a weird one where you move with the L and R buttons on the top of the DS and can grab walls and climb by alternating the L and R. It kind of rotates Donkey Kong up as you hit the buttons. The whole game is played with that. And there is one for the Game Boy Advance, not as good.
Yeah.
This DS one is actually very good and very reminiscent of Donkey Kong Country, graphically.
Oh, interesting.
There's an alien that's a banana peel, which is a fun character design.
That's kind of neat, especially for Donkey Kong. Yeah, that's great.
But it's a surprisingly good game that nobody talks about.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but that sounds like a lot of fun. That's awesome.
An English patch release for Metal Max 2 Reloaded, which is a Japanese JRPG series that takes place in post-apocalyptic Earth. Mm-hmm. So it's like a Mad Max style thing.
Oh, cool.
Very light on story. It just kind of gives you leads, and you go out and you play as a bounty hunter, so you go out and hunt monsters to get money, and you get vehicles.
Oh, that's cool.
So you manage a party and their vehicles as you go around the post-apocalypse and do stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
There's so many hidden gems on the regular DS. I've enjoyed going back to it.
Oh, good.
Except for games that use the touchscreen too much, because that sucks.
So the acronym for TORG is the Ohio Retro Gamer.
Okay, that's fine. That works.
Okay.
Thank you for that update.
Yeah, I mean, it took forever to find. Well, it's not on their website. I had to dig.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, Josh, what have you been doing this week?
Other than watching stuff that you guys will make fun of me for.
No. I would never make Josh. You know me. I would never.
You know what I'm gonna say.
I would never.
You know what I'm gonna
fun
say.
of your anime.
No, I'm not.
Are you gonna say Velma again?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not.
no.
We can't. You can't talk about Velma.
Can't
I know.
talk about- no.
We're not giving it any more oxygen.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Koala Man.
Is that any good? It's got had Roiland in it, so
Well, if it makes you feel any better, he's a villain in his episode.
just like in real life.
It's like in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the 3rd episode kind of builds more on the world because you think it's it's just weird Australia. It's weird alternate history Australia.
Okay.
There's a guy in Australia that manipulated the time stream by warning the Titanic that it was going to sink, and it changed all of history.
Interesting.
Because there was a mummy on board the Titanic, which ended up surviving and becoming president of the United States, and then later falling in love with either Khrushchev or Gorbachev in the Soviet Union and left to go to the moon. And when the mummy left, America fell into a war and destroyed itself, and Hollywood broke off and became an island.
Okay.
This is higher concept.
It is. It is a weird.
Yeah.
It is a weird show.
It sounds like Axe Cop.
Yeah.
It's an ugly show too. I think it was made by the same people who made the YOLO Crystal Adventures, whatever show.
Oh, the Bushworld Adventures.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty guy.
Yeah.
That would fit with the Australia thing.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing is Koala Man, it's like a small little town and everyone knows who he is. There's these 2 guys that are basically just kind of, I don't know, local ne'er-do-wells or whatever.
Local hooligans.
Yeah, they're constantly high and loitering and doing bad stuff. And it's hey, you stop there. And they're all screw off, Koala Man, give him a finger and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And no one likes him. Like, no one he's constantly trying to make him, make people love Koala Man as a character or whatever.
Gotcha.
Man, they always make these adult animated comedies so ugly looking, and then we get one that looks good and it's Velma.
Yeah.
It's Velma.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm caught up on the English dub of My Hero Academia.
Oh, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because the Japanese sub is only 2 episodes ahead. So it's not like,
Oh, okay.
In this world of online streaming and stuff, we don't have to wait 3 years for a dub to come to the United States. We can get it in like a week or so.
We've been working our way back through Spy Family.
I love that show
It is
so
good.
much. It's probably one of my favorite modern anime right now. It's so cute. It's so fun. It's very well done, like animation-wise. The soundtrack is top-notch for me. Especially the openings and closings.
The opening by was the Bump of Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute, but keeps itself from getting too saccharine.
Yeah.
Because there's spy stories in there.
There's the spy story, there's the assassin arc, there's the whole thing with Anya's backstory, which they still haven't gotten into. And then later on, there's backstory to the family dog Bond.
the family dog named Bond who can see the future.
And he wears
Nice.
a bow tie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because he's
nice.
named after Bondman, the spy TV show that Anya likes to watch, but also, James Bond.
He can preconceive things, and then Anya, the little girl, can see them because she's psychic.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
girl and the dog kind of work
kind
together.
of a
Like
tag
the whole-
team kind of thing.
The
Nice.
whole
I like
thing is
that.
Anya can read minds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it has to do with her little
Her little
cones
the
on her
little
head.
booby tassels she wears on her head.
Yeah, her little cones on her head. I feel like she's got like a psyche, what was that name of that show? Psyche or whatever.
Yeah.
He's got those little psychic doodads on his head.
I guess we've never really explained the gist
Yeah.
of Spy Family.
So
we never have.
Spy Family is set in a vaguely European-esque world that is
the city's called Berlin, if that
Berlin.
tells you anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Berlin in the country of Westphalia or
yeah.
something like that. Or he's from Westphalia. I can't remember.
It's not terribly important. To
No,
the
no,
plot.
no, no.
What's the elevator pitch? What's
So-
the thrust of this?
You have the main character, Lloyd Folger, which is his alias. He is like one of the world's top spies for his country.
His name's Twilight.
He's Agent Twilight.
He's like the super spy.
Yeah, he's like the
Okay.
James Bond.
Gotcha.
He's a master of disguise. He's all these things.
All of it. Yeah.
And so for his current mission, he has to fake a family. So he adopts this little girl,
From an orphanage,
Yeah, who happens to be psychic.
which he doesn't know.
Yeah. And also has to marry a woman who he doesn't know is also an assassin.
Okay.
And then they have to be a fake family who, slowly become a real family over time.
Sure.
And hijinks ensue.
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, like he's like constantly trying to do his mission, and Anya knows his mission. It's about world peace.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that she knows because he doesn't know that she's psychic.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, also, when he gets married, his fake wife thinks she's getting married so she doesn't accidentally get picked up by the secret police for being suspicious because she's a young woman who's not married.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because she's too busy being an assassin.
So everybody
Also her
in the
day
family
job.
has a hidden-
Everyone has a secret.
Has a secret
Everyone
thing.
has a little secret.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Also, his wife, her brother is in the secret police. Like, he's pretty high up in the secret police.
Interesting.
And he hates him.
Okay.
He absolutely hates him.
Yeah, hates Lloyd.
He hates Lloyd.
And is obsessed with his own sister.
It's
uncomfortable.
weird. It is really uncomfortable. It's like the one aspect of the show I don't like.
Yeah.
It's the only aspect of the show I don't like. Fortunately, he's not in much.
No.
He pops up only a couple of times, but I'm sure as the show reaches its crescendo, it'll probably be more.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the twist where either Agent Twilight has to find. She has some kind of weird name because she's a infamous assassin or whatever.
The Thorn Princess.
Thorn Princess, that's what it is. Yeah, the Thorn Princess assassin.
But her brother exists so they could put pressure on her and Lloyd to be more like intimate and look more married. There has to be somebody there to make them like have to kiss or something,
or act more like a couple.
Yeah.
There's also, you know, a bunch of like supporting characters. Like there's like the shopkeep who's also like a
Scruffy head.
Scruffy head. Yeah. Anya calls him Scruffy head, but he is like Lloyd's like. He's the forger. That's what he is. He makes fake documents for Lloyd.
Okay.
But he also runs
And he's kind of almost like a
Q.
Yeah,
Okay.
except he's like a goofball.
Yeah.
And kind of like he's always trying to like date women, but they never want to date him. He's stuck in a newspaper booth all day.
Yeah. And then there's the handler who's
The head of the local branch of the spy network that Lloyd is a part of.
and is a hot lady.
She looks kind of like if
Like a mommy.
if
There's that part where she was like interrogating a guy and stepping on him, and I just went, I wish that were me.
she's like Carmen Sandiego if Carmen Sandiego had red hair and wore all black.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But she's this called handler.
Tells everybody he's a psychologist.
And Anya says like he's a feelings doctor.
Yeah.
Feelings doctor, I like that. Yeah.
But he works in a hospital. Like he
Okay.
works in a hospital.
I say this a lot about anime, it seems like, but it's not a very anime. It's because it's so Western.
It's almost like a sitcom,
Yeah.
sounds like.
It really is. Also, the food is beautifully drawn, and I hate it. And it makes me want to eat it so bad. It's like Studio Ghibli food,
but
honestly.
it's very Western inspired.
Oh yeah.
too.
I can't tell if it's supposed to be like World War II or beyond, because a lot of things feel like it's set in the 30s, but then they have like color TVs.
Well, having it set in a world that is not
The real world,
they
yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
They can mash up eras.
Yeah, they pick and choose what they want.
like
Yeah.
a 30s, 50s, 70s.
like Archer, like it's vaguely 60s or
Yeah.
vaguely whatever.
Yeah.
the Forgers' TV is very looks like a very retro.
But it's in
CRT.
color. But it's in
also
color.
color. Gotcha.
But there's no cell phones. There's telephone, like regular telephones. But no, I really love the show. Like, yeah, there's this element of action and whatnot, and they always allude to like the assassination stuff, but you never really see it that much.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time when you see like the wife doing like super crazy stuff, it's in defense of like Anya. Like she might be getting like somebody tries to nab her off the street or something, and she chases them down terrifyingly.
Yeah, there's one where she loses Anya somewhere and just like quickly jumps up to the ceiling and is hanging in the rafters, looking around,
Looking
getting
around.
an
Oh,
overhead
at,
view.
at the dog
Yeah,
adoption thing.
yeah.
The dog adoption
Oh,
thing.
interesting. Very interesting.
And nobody seems to notice.
Huh.
She beats up a dude in an alley and like does like all these like ninja flips, like bouncing between the walls and stuff.
Awesome.
And she's all like, "Mama's scary."
All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here. And when we come back, we are going to dig into this week's news. The folks at Sidekicks Coffee are more than happy to make you your favorite hot or iced coffee, tea, hot chocolate, lattes, and more. Sidekicks have 2 locations. In the Marion Center Mall, Tuesday through Saturday, opening at 10 a.m., and their on-the-road drive-up next to the Pet Sanctuary on Marion Waldo Road, Tuesday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Sidekicks Coffee. We are back from the break. Thank you all for sticking with us. Let's go ahead and get into some news. You know, it just dawned on me, I don't have any clips for any DC movies or TV shows on the board.
Oh, I have breaking news that I learned this morning.
Breaking news.
The only video game that Nick Offerman has ever played was Banjo-Kazooie.
Really?
And he mainlined it in a week and liked it so much it scared him and off of video games.
Really? Wow, that's impressive.
And
I can kind of see that.
he went in at the top of the medium, the top of the art form, decided he'd seen the best, there it has to offer and left, and I can respect that.
I can respect that. Yes, absolutely.
Was this like in an interview question since he's on?
on The Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, let's talk about some things that have been going on this past week or so. The first one, this is kind of the big one. So James Gunn and Peter Safran, the two guys that are now in charge of the DC
Reining it all back in.
cinematic universe, trying to put out as many fires as they possibly can. They released what their big plans are for the upcoming months and years, and it's kind of a doozy. So we're just going to go down the list and kind of talk a little bit about each one. First one that they announced was Superman Legacy, written by James Gunn. And it says, we'll follow Kal-El as he reconciles his extraterrestrial origins with his human family and upbringing. So it's probably going to be a little bit more of a thinker.
The other thing that makes me think, since I'm glad they're not doing like a whole full like Superman reboot kind of thing.
It's not, at this point, it's not needed. People already know where Superman's from.
Yeah, it's such ingrained into pop culture. It's like we know how Batman becomes Batman. We know how Superman. We know how That was the one thing I liked about Spider-Man in the MCU was it's alluded, but they don't just throw it in your face.
Yeah, we don't have to see Uncle Ben die.
I don't think there's actually an Uncle Ben cast in the MCU currently.
No,
and it's not necessary.
No, he's briefly mentioned in Civil War, or a tragedy is mentioned with his uncle. That's all it is said.
That's all it is.
He carries his briefcase. His briefcase says Ben on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Which is a good Easter egg.
It's a good
Build
Easter
out
egg.
the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Although I always like to think that that the Uncle Ben would have been what's his name from My Cousin Vinny, because Marissa Tomei played his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He was in Home Alone.
Joe Pesci?
Joe Pesci is as Uncle Ben.
I don't think Joe Pesci would have let himself get shot by a thug.
You think I'm an uncle? You think I'm an uncle?
Do I look like an uncle to you?
Do I look like an uncle to you?
He's the kind of Queens resident that has a baseball bat in his car at all times.
All right, next up is this is kind of a weird poll. It is The Authority, which is a Wildstorm, or at least was in its inception, a Wildstorm Comics group that was brought into the DCU when everything was merged, when all the companies were merged together.
Kind of like, Watchmen, this, that, and the other.
The Charlton Comics guys that were Watchmen.
Right. So The Authority it was originally published in 1999, and it was these 7 heroes who had really weird high concept powers and were all jerks. It's like, what if the Justice League were all a bunch of jerk dummies that are really misanthropic, and they're going to save the world, but they don't care about the little picture. They just
the boys,
kind of like the boys, kind of like if the 7 from the boys were not outwardly evil or secretly evil, if they were actually still doing good things, but they don't care, like buildings falling on this person or this meteor is going to crash on Earth. Well, there's no question. Meteor, exactly.
Yeah, it's not about finding the better way. It's about finding the way.
The way, yes. It actually has one of the more interesting characters, Jack Hawksmoor, who has the ability. What is it? Knowledge based on city. So like he can commune with cities. He has to be inside a major city at all times. He can travel through warp pipes from city to main metropolitan area to main metropolitan area. And when he's in that metropolitan area, he can psychically pull information from like any area of that city.
That is high concept and weird.
Yes.
Yeah, It makes
Plus, he has like kung fu powers. He's like a kung fu master or something.
Kung fu powers.
Kung fu powers.
Also, he can punch good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to punch good. This also is where the Apollo and the Midnighter come from, and they were what if Superman and Batman were a couple? Basically, Apollo is like from a planet where sun power. He gets powers from the sun, and it's more like energy beam based. And Midnighter was a government experiment.
That's gonna play real good with the crowd that's mad about James Gunn being which good, let him get mad.
It's a weird poll, but I think it'd be interesting.
I feel like they looked in their repertoire of like, what do we have for edgy group projects, because The Boys is popular. Invincible was pretty popular.
Yeah, this is definitely that.
And it fits in with his like the Peacemaker stuff too, kind of.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're probably going to rewrite it a little bit to be more along the lines of a Peacemaker or a Suicide Squad,
like an elevated Peacemaker with more superpowers, less grounded.
Basically, yeah. So we have Brave and the Bold, which is More than likely going to be a Batman team up movie.
Well, yeah, it's The Brave and the Bold, which is, a Batman-centric project.
Yeah. Well, they had the animated series years ago.
Oh, yeah, Batman and the Brave and the Bold was
one
great.
of my favorite.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's right there, right underneath Batman the Animated Series. Batman Brave and the Bold is right there. If you ever get a chance to watch it, absolutely check
Plus,
it out.
Kevin Conroy comes back to voice
the Batman of Zur-En-Ah.
Yeah, the alien Batman.
Alien Batman.
And he's drawn in the style of the Bruce Timm verse.
It's one of like the prime examples of saying like there are multitudes to Batman. Like
Yes.
different interpretations are good.
Yeah.
Because look at this.
Like, you can be goofy, but you can also be Batman.
Plus,
Yeah.
their final episode, he teams up with Ambush Bug, my favorite character of DC Comics that no one knows about. The one character that knows that he is in a comic book and can talk to the reader and
Yeah, he's
has fourth wall breaking awareness.
Yeah, he's like...
And he was voiced by Henry Winkler, and the entire episode was about jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Batman was trying to make Batman Brave and the Bold jump the shark so it would get canceled so that he can get his brand new grim and gritty Batman show on the air.
Yeah, and there's a fake trailer for a CG
Yes,
Batgirl
Batgirl.
show that I wish was real but isn't.
Oh, it's so good.
You know what
It's
I
so
miss?
good.
You know what I miss?
Yeah.
Talking about like CG DC shows. I miss that CGI Bruce Timm Green Lantern.
Green
show.
Lantern? Yeah.
That was a really good show.
I actually downloaded that recently. I'm going to be watching it.
It
because
sucks. It sucks. It ends like the way it does, but
yeah, it kind of it just kind of stops. It doesn't really end.
It doesn't resolve anything.
I wish Cartoon Network would have better supported that DC block that
I
they
wish
had.
they would have too.
Oh yeah, because you had Young Justice, you had the Green Lantern show.
There was something else.
Teen Titans United.
No.
Or not United.
Super Best Friends.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really good shorts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the kind of like the doll centric DC.
It was before that though.
Oh.
It was kind of the impetus that brought in DC superhero girls, and then they finally did hire Lauren Faust, who did the shorts, to revamp the line after they made a bad one.
Yeah. I just remember a short about Vibe, the 1980s breakdancer.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was what's his name? He was on Carlos Albuquerque or something like that. He was the voice of
Al
Rocco.
Siraki.
Al Siraki, yes. He was the voice of Rocco in Rocco's Modern Life. He was also on Reno 911.
Yeah.
But I think he was, hey man, it is Vibe. I'm here. And yeah, it was.
I mean, that's
really
definitely
funny stuff.
your schlocky thing.
Yeah, I love schlock, and that is definitely
There
schlock.
there was good Plastic Man shorts.
Yeah,
those were
Plastic
pretty
Shorts
good. Those were pretty
Yeah.
good.
There was good Animal
and that was
Man.
Tom Kenny.
Tom
was-
Kenny Plastic Man.
Plastic Man, yeah.
There was Weird Al Animal Man. That was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good stuff. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Just looks like it's gonna be. It seems like they're gonna be doing a Supergirl movie as well.
I wonder.
I'm fine with that.
Well, since the CW is pretty much ending, because the Flash show's done, Legends of Tomorrow's done.
But Clark and Lois is still on the air.
And it's still on the slate.
Or
so-
Superman and Lois. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still on the slate too. Yeah, we'll get to that. But
I wonder if they'll cast the same woman they had as Supergirl.
I bet they don't.
I bet they don't.
I wouldn't be upset if they did because I really liked her as
yeah.
Supergirl.
I kind of want them to do what they did with Matt Ryan and Constantine.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of neat, but yeah, I don't see them doing that because they're considering the Superman and Lois show in Elseworlds like a alternate parallel universe version.
I think even Superman and Lois does that itself in its own universe.
Right, yeah. Swamp Thing. We're getting a third Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah.
What universe are we living in which there are going to be three separate Swamp Thing
Separate and hopefully not equal.
hopefully not equal. They keep trying. It's the weirdest thing. They keep trying Swamp Thing. There was the original live action movie. There was the Return of Swamp Thing that was a jokey mess.
Oh, it's awful.
It's awful, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, but it's awful.
There's a good riff tracks for it.
Yeah. There was the Swamp Thing TV series that made it 10 episodes.
Yeah,
And
before getting in trouble for South Carolina laws.
something like that. It got canceled pretty unceremoniously, but it did have Blue Demon
That's true.
or Blue Devil.
Blue
The Mexican wrestler.
This
Blue
luchador
Demon.
just shows up.
Yeah, he comes in, he suplexes and wears a business suit. No, And Blue Devil, which was a really obscure poll. So they had that. They had that animated series that lasted 5 episodes. Enough to make a bunch of action figures.
Yeah, they had a lot of cool toys that were slime related.
Oh yeah, it was great. But yeah, they're gonna try another Swamp Thing movie.
I don't know. I think we had peak Swamp Thing in the Harley Quinn show.
Oh yeah, that's a really good Swamp Thing
with his ponytail.
I
kind
like
of-
Mark Hamill's Swamp Thing in Justice League Action too.
Also very good.
Oh, Justice League Action was such a good.
That's a good
such
cartoon.
a good show.
Yeah, yep. Okay, we're also getting a couple of new DCU shows that are going to be tied in with the continuity. The Creature Commandos, another very, very deep pull.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this one.
What is
Wasn't that the DC equivalent to the Howling Commandos?
More or less. So there in the comics, there is a secret government agency called SHADE, Agents of SHADE, SHADE, and it stands for something. I don't know what it is. In this TV series, it looks like Amanda Waller is going to be in charge of them.
Oh,
Of course she is.
The New 52 had that Frankenstein and the Agents of Shade comic.
Yes, that is the Creature Commandos. It's a team of mercenaries or government agents that are all themed around universal monsters. So you have the literal Frankenstein that everyone calls Adam. You have the literal Bride of Frankenstein who has 2 extra arms grafted onto her, and she has a gun in each arm.
She's like
And she dances while she shoots. It's like Bayonetta with 4 arms instead of guns on feet.
I saw her in the image that they were. I'm like, okay, I'm here if there's a Bride of Frankenstein up in here.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. There's like the Gillman, and there's a whole bunch of other ones, and they're all thematically built around the universal monsters. It's really cool.
Yeah, and this is an animated show.
This is an animated show, yes. We're getting a TV show of Waller, which I'm hoping is a secret sequel to Peacemaker.
It is.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Okay.
I read about it. It is a direct spinoff of Peacemaker.
Good. We need that.
So basically what they're saying is Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad are still in canon.
It's all canon at this point. Those are anything
That's canon.
James Gunn has touched in the DCU so far is canon.
So Suicide Squad, that's it.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
The good stuff, which
Yeah.
is one thing, and Wonder Woman, but that doesn't count.
Right.
Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam was
Shazam's
pretty
fine,
good.
yeah.
And despite Amber Heard, Aquaman wasn't terrible. It was just full of bloat because there was too many storylines converging.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Another one I'm excited for, Booster Gold, the greatest hero no one's heard of.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's from the future. He has brand deals like a NASCAR driver. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's taken this long for them to do a Booster Gold show.
It's such a genius idea.
He was
like,
pretty big. He was pretty prevalent in Justice League Unlimited.
he only had 1 episode.
Did he?
Yeah.
I felt like he was in more.
He only had 1 episode. I mean, he was voiced by, his little flying robot buddy Skeets was voiced by Billy
West.
Billy
yeah.
West. But so Booster Gold, the whole deal is he was a sports star in the 25th century who got kicked out of future football and was working in a superhero wing of the Metropolis Museum, steals a time machine and a newspaper, an almanac with, a list of whenever there are issues.
He Biff Tannins it.
He Biff Tannins it and goes back to the 20th century to try to stop crimes before they're committed and get as many brand deals as possible. He was essentially, they were ripping off Booster Gold in Mystery Men with Captain Amazing, where he had the sponsorships all over his suit.
Oh, it has been so long since I've seen that
Oh,
movie.
Mystery Men is a great
Oh,
movie.
I love
yeah,
that
it's
movie.
a classic.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to that one. We have lanterns, so
I'm
it's
super
gonna be
excited about this one.
Green Lantern, so we might see a whole bunch of different Green Lanterns.
They name dropped Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan
Good.
in the thing. So
Those are the two main
characters.
ones. I hope they put Kyle Rayner in there somewhere because that is my Green Lantern.
Will it be Kyle Rayner or will it be Ion?
Kyle Rayner, because I much prefer, as much as I like Kyle Rayner, who knows what he's doing and is a competent hero. I like his early tenure as the Green Lantern, where he was just a freelance artist who somehow lucked into getting a Green Lantern ring with no instruction booklet and was just told, figure it out. You're the only one.
I mean, the Last Guardian found him in the back of an alley going like, hey,
You'll have to do.
So all the lanterns are dead and this is the last ring.
Ganthet literally says, you will have to do.
I'm not even sure it was Ganthet.
It was.
Was it Ganthet?
Ganthet was the last remaining
Okay.
Guardian.
I mean, but also that Kyle Rayner run is also what created the, fridging your women trope.
But that also, in retrospect, brought attention to Gail Simone.
That's true.
Super famous comic writer, because she started the website Women in Refrigerators, and that's how the comics industry found her. And she went from being a
blogger,
and hairdresser
to a writer.
One of the biggest comic writers of all time,
the preeminent comic
and one
writers.
of the biggest trolls on Twitter I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah, she's a hoot.
It's wonderful.
But also, he had a really '90s looking suit. That suit.
It's great.
It's so dumb in his big stupid mask.
What about Guy Gardner with his bowl cut?
You know what? I'll take Guy Gardner with his bowl cut. That's fine.
Really hope, if they're gonna bring in Guy Gardner, I hope they at least do an episode of what was it? There was a Justice League of America or something, and Batman just straight up punches him in the face.
Oh yeah, he takes his ring off because he's like, okay, you want to fight? Man
Let's
to
go.
man, 1-on-1, let's go. Takes the Green Lantern ring off. Batman clocks him in the face, knocks him out in one punch immediately.
Yep. And immediately breaks his nose.
Yes.
And everyone else in the Justice League or the Justice League
start laughing at him.
Yeah, and they hate him. They hate him.
Well, because Guy Gardner is the angry one.
Well, yeah. Well, that comic was also like a workplace comedy set in the DC universe, and the only Justice League characters they could use were Batman, because they needed a big name pull, and Martian Manhunter.
Black Canary, Martian Manhunter, Booster Gold, Shazam, Guy Gardner.
But at the time, it's because no one else cared about those characters other than the
Was
Batman.
it Flash? Flash might have been there.
No. Flash was too big at the time.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
want a Black Canary show.
That would be great.
Give me a Black Canary
They
show.
were talking about it at one point, but I don't know if it's.
But
gonna
I
happen now.
think it got swept under the rug with the
It did.
Discovery merger.
Yeah. So the last show for the Gunn era.
Yeah, the Gunn
DCU.
era. The Gunn era.
Yeah.
They're going to Earth. They're going to Earth too.
Is a flashback of Wonder Woman called Paradise Lost. It's set on Themyscira, and it's teenage or late teen, early 20s Wonder Woman.
Young Wonder Woman.
Young Wonder Woman is probably the last episode. Will be her getting the stuff and heading to
the world of man.
Going to the world of man. So they're kind of rebooting.
Going to solve World War II.
Basically, yeah.
or World War I if you're Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
So there are a couple other things with this, and I'm going to go through them real quick. We've been talking about this a lot.
That was a smart move to go to World War I too. Less baggage there.
Less baggage. So the way they're playing that is there are going to be 4 things that are not part of the DCEU.
They're calling them their Elseworlds.
They're calling them the Elseworlds, and it is the Joker movie
with Lady Gaga.
With Lady Gaga, Joker 2, Folie à Deux. They're doing a sequel to The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, The Batman Part 2.
Yeah, I'll take that. Give me that.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Teen Titans Go is going to continue.
Of course it is.
It's the only show Cartoon Network has.
It's,
right.
It's their SpongeBob.
Yeah, basically. And Superman and Lois is going to continue. There are 4 movies that take place before the universe reset. So these 4 movies are going to be the end of the pre-interconnected
Basically, they're
era.
already
the
made.
Snyderverse,
Basically,
more or less.
Basically, they're done, and it would cost them money to not release them. So it's the sequel to Shazam, The Flash,
which there's a trailer out for.
yeah, and The Flash,
Yeah.
Blue
Crime
Beetle.
Flash.
I'm happy they're keeping Blue Beetle,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and the sequel to Aquaman.
Because
So-
it's probably already in the bag.
Yeah, these are all
Which
already in the
is
bag.
dumb because Batgirl was too, and Batgirl fell to the axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, we have time for one more.
Let's talk about a bunch of online games that are going bye-bye.
Yeah, let's do it. So Rumbleverse, that massively multiplayer
Fortnite punch 'em up.
Yes.
Fortnite but fighting.
The battle royale with
Battle Royale, that's what I meant.
with the over the top wrestling stuff is heading into its sunset. It is
and that's
slated.
weird. Yeah, go ahead.
It has been officially announced by Iron Galaxy that they are canceling or they are shutting down service February 28th.
After only 6 months.
Not even a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not give this game enough time to breathe. It's a shame because I played a round or 2 of it, and I watched a lot of people play it, and it looked like a lot of fun. It seemed pretty cool.
They went through they flipped seasons really fast. Like the first season was only a few weeks long, and then the second season brought in a whole nother part of the map and some more moves, and they've been slowly filling more moves and weapons into the game. Not a lot, but
They were trying.
And there weren't a lot of there were tweaks here and there, but there was no huge changes to the actual gameplay itself.
Right.
And now you're not going to be able to play it at all after February, which is bad for preservation. But on the other hand,
they are going to be on the other hand,
Knockout City, the EA dodgeball deathmatch.
Yeah,
game.
the retro futuristic Knockout City, which is like all like, greaser punks type of stuff.
Yeah, throwing dodgeballs at each other.
Yeah.
Which was actually pretty fun. I played
pretty
a little
fun.
bit of it.
Yeah, I did when it came out.
Yeah, that's shutting down too. But they've promised to release private server versions of it.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
So you can keep playing it with your friends if you liked it, which is the way you should handle these situations.
That's pretty cool. The one thing I was going to mention on Rumbleverse before we get off of that, Epic has said that they are going to refund all of your purchases.
Yes, if you
in
bought
those games.
anything,
so any skins, anything like that,
anything since the game came out, you can get a refund.
And that's pretty cool. That's pretty classy.
So
they
for
didn't
me,
have to
that's
do that.
2 battle passes and a couple packs of monies.
I'm surprised they didn't funnel it into V-Bucks.
I kind of am too.
I mean, when I get my refund, I'll probably just funnel it into V-Bucks anyway.
Yeah.
Which I hate, but
I still need to get the battle pass for Fortnite so I can get the Doomslayer.
but I say you've only got 5 weeks in this season left, so you better hurry up.
You know what? Let's do one more. King of the Hill is coming back.
Yeah, Mike Judge said
it.
They are working on Arlen through the lens of 2023.
So does this mean that they're going to age up characters?
I would imagine. Because I think he said it is a continuation. It is not a reboot.
I don't know if I want to live in a world with a 20-year-old Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily have to age up the characters to put them in the modern day.
Yeah, that's true.
And they don't even really need to explain it because time passed on the original show without anyone aging.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Joseph aged.
But that was in service of a joke because he's aging to look more and more like John Redcorn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he also went through different voice actors. He actually went through
puberty.
He actually went through puberty, and it's actually documented in the show.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
time passed for one character.
But I'm really excited to see King of the Hill come back.
He'll come back and he'll be dead.
No.
Because time passed for him, but no one else.
Yes, he's the only one allowed to age. Oh, it's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But I'm just excited for more King of the Hill. I don't think I gave it as fair a shake when I was much younger, but as an adult, I find a lot of comedy in those old episodes of King of the Hill.
Oh, it's one of the all-time classics.
It is my wife's comfort show.
Oh, good.
She loves watching it. It's like her... if I'm just laying on the couch trying to snooze or whatever, it's on. Or if she just wants some background noise, it's on. I mean, we have rewatched the series. I don't even know how many times.
Nice.
Between that and BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
Mike Judge knows how to bring a show back, too, because they brought back Beavis and Butthead twice. And it was good both times. Like, it never went away. So... I have no doubt this will be very good.
It'll be good. He wouldn't bring it back if he didn't have an idea for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, obviously, pretty much almost anybody can come back except Luann and Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's,
But they went to somewhere.
They went somewhere.
They went somewhere in universe. I can't remember.
All right. Well, hey, we have actually hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and if you want to support us, Patreon at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline, which is now written on the board, which is good because I don't have it on my phone to look up.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah. It's 419-561-5556. Leave us a message and we might play it on the show.
You can find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. I'd like to thank super friend of the show, Parker, for manning the Facebook page and coming up with some of these great news articles. And also thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Whoa!